Good evening, class. Right.
Who's it supposed to be?
Please forgive my tardiness. Excuse me. You're a student in the class, I presume? You've forgotten your textbook. Well, you know my policy. Please leave. Oh, just kidding. I'm in an unusually generous mood today. Anyway, as I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, right, my tardiness. Please forgive it. I was signing autographs in the quad. Yeah, fans. Bastards. Right, well, since today is our final lecture, we have arranged something quite special, quite spectacular, utterly original and innovative. Your collective edification. Utterly innovative. As I usually am, and as I usually do. But as you all well know, I am not only brilliant, but I have superpowers. For today's lecture, I have bent space and time with my mind. Returned back to 17th century England. Well, you'll see. Therefore, I, the renowned and profound Professor Ben Saunders, am hosting the first and only ever edition of Dead Poets Jeopardy. Pardon me if I've gotten a bit technological today. Right. And I am fucking excited. That's right, I am not afraid to use that morning reference. I'm fucking serious. And cheeky and fun as well. Now, without further ado, as little gilding of the lily as is possible for a literary scholar, let's meet the contestants. Our first contestant has perfected genius. So much so that at times he loses himself in his own rhetoric. I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. Maybe better. I fear this room may not be big enough to contain his presence. Certainly not his personality. I give you now the explosive, the pious, the sexy metaphysical poet, the master of wit, the advocator of fornication, the monarch of both inversion and perversion, Mr. John Donne.
Thank you. Not large enough to contain.
Oh, right.
Sorry about that, Lowe's. Didn't see you there.
Saunders, I thought you said this was a university.
Right, Mr. Donne. In the 21st century, both men and women are admitted to the University of Oregon.
Brilliant.
I was admitting, or centuries ago, I was admitting women to Oxford. Dormitories, that is. So I see the trend caught on.
Yes, well, moving on then. Our next contestant in ascending order by alphabet and by moral integrity, I'm afraid. Surrounded by poetic masterminds his entire life, he strove to achieve poetic invisibility. Now, though he failed, he did create some of the most impossibly beautiful and impossibly impossible poetry of the entire canon. I give you the God-fearing, nay, the God-revering, inventor by imitation, Mr. George Herbert. Big round.
Really, it's not about me. It's talk about God and my poetry about him. With the capital H.
Good enough. Last we have not just a man, but a wild man, a man of psychedelic nature. The architect of an imagination that transcends any possible conceptualization, only yields out to adoration. He has perfected poetic invisibility, and when needed, conveniently plays to the side of whomever is convenient. For he is the master of the elaborate compliment. I give you the magical, the mysterious and the ambiguous, Mr. Andrew Marvell.
Conflict, then have your tongue down my trousers and do it proper. Bring some vegetables with you.
Right, thanks for that, Mr. Marvell. Let's continue. Please, yes, and the categories are famous lines, boring religious poetry, cats are assholes, favorite colors, cunning linguists, and my own personal favorite, Sydney is a fucking genius.
I'm a fucking genius. Metaphysically speaking.
Right. Well, Mr. Donne, up until your last utterance, you were my favorite. Why don't you choose a category anyway?
All right, well, let's get this roasting off to a proper start. Today must be my lucky day. I'll take cunnilingus for 400.
Mr. Donne, that's cunning linguists, not cunnilingus. Right, and the answer is this. This cunning linguist was known for undoing things in his poetry, such as the undoing of perceptual frameworks, the undoing of language, the undoing of the self. This poet is, in fact, one of you.
Yes, really? I didn't know you were into oral sex.
I'm into God.
Well, I expect he demands quite the proper blowjob then.
Oh, put a flick leaf over it, would you? And you, George. You might as well be putting on a crown of thorns and nailing yourself to a tree or something. Oh, now there's an interesting thought.
Right. Gentlemen, please. Mr. Herbert, since you seem to be the only one taking this game even remotely seriously, why don't you please choose the next category?
Very good, then. I'll take religious poetry for 200.
Right, I might have known. Religious poetry, you say. Boring religious poetry for 200. And the answer is this. This poem references Luke 19:40. It was in fact written by you, George.
Oh, of course. Oh, let thy blessed sacrifice be mine, and sanctify this altar to be thine. You know, I've actually prepared something for this day.
Great.
Let me just get started. My dear kinsman, Sir Philip Sidney, did search for every purling stream. I, too, did try to imitate, looking also for that which could show the vast difference between our depraved state, and I just could not find anything. I looked and I looked, but the comments with the text confound was ever a grief like mine. Oh Lord, we say amiss this or that is. Thy word is all, if only we could spell. I am so inaccurate. But I sought quaint words and trim invention. It was the joy and subsequent pride of working something out in my mind, my humble quest of expression continually marred by my complex rhyme schemes, grasp of metaphorical language, and the realization of my amazing talent.
Yes, Mr. Herbert, I believe it is time to move on.
Don't you see, Saunders? Don't you
yes,
see how
quite
I
clearly.
struggle, vainly perhaps, to achieve the impossible dream?
Yes, please.
Of conveying the
Yes,
mystery.
please. I'm sorry. For the love of Christ, we must continue our game. Now, I apologize for Mr. Herbert's ramblings. If I had known he would have been this much of an unbearable bore, I'd have left him in the brothel where I found him. Yes, Mr. Marvell, you haven't chosen a category yet. Why don't you go ahead, please?
Oh, I'll take famous lines for 600, please.
All right, famous lines, you say, not famous vines. Yes, great, this may actually be going somewhere then. The question is this. In the elegy to his mistress going to bed, these famous lines were written to this person. Here are the lines. Then, since I may know, as liberally as to a midwife, show thyself, cast all ye this white linen hence. Pardon me. To teach thee, I am naked first. Why then, what needst thou have more covering than a man? Mr. Donne, let me make it quite clear that I expect you to answer this. Let us know, perhaps, who this person was, since presumably you wrote this poem. However, anyone could respond as an acceptable answer. Now, there is no reason why any of you should be thinking this bloody much. Will someone please simply say, his mistress, or perhaps a woman, or anything?
It was written for God. I'm sure of it. White linen, penance, naked innocence.
Mr. Herbert, you truly are a minging twat. Please refrain from speaking again. Yes, Mr. Marvell.
Nel Ciro Diligo in Bistacoris Order.
Latin and English, please.
English. Hardly a serious scholarly language.
Hey, now.
Yes, like a tender language.
Enough with your miserable fixations
They're
already.
pink on the inside.
Oh, shut up! Mr. Donne, surely you can help us here, please.
My pen is my guide, my muse, utter perfection. A woman finer than any I've seen at court moves me to take and plead my case and ask for her pardon. And if she will, I will write volumes to your beauty. Half a dozen peach breasts. If you will just love me and take my pen and touch your hand.
I'm sorry, Mr. Donne, please.
Hold your tongue and let us love.
Mr. Donne, enough courting of my students, please. And no more stealing of Mr. Marvell's lines. I'm sorry, they're not yours and yours. No more courting of my students, please. I can't do it. Neither can you. Surely.
I've been dead for nearly 400 years. I'm due for a jolly good fuck.
Right. Well, why don't I pick a category? I'm sorry, what? Okay, great. Yes, why don't I pick a category this time, since letting you all do so has proven to be entirely disastrous. Here's one to get something on the board, perhaps. Let's take favorite colors for 400, yes? All right. And Mr. Marvell, please, no more Latin. English only. The question is this. What is this color?
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yes, how incredibly. Yes, now do you have an answer?
Yes. See it again. It's for cliché, thought, fantasy, ripe apples, curious peaches. Juliana, it is lesbian nuns, perfect, innocent little girls.
Right.
Who fucking it is? Excuse me, it's myself on psychedelic drugs.
Great.
And most importantly, it's my inner mind, my mind's eye.
Yes, Mr. Marvell, please, the word. Simply the word will do.
That.
The word is green. Please, simply green, that's all.
Yes, I just wanted to hear you say it.
Why don't we take a short commercial break and allow Mr. Marvell to change his pants? We'll be right back with Final Jeopardy then. And now a brief word from our sponsor. Me. Buy my book, nobody else will. If you haven't bought one copy, buy it now, and if you have, buy another. Gladly sign it, please. All right, and we're back for our final round.
I say, Saunders, do you know who I am?
Yes, you're the Earl of Rochester.
I am the Earl of Rochester. You played the page and pinched me once before, but I'll not be pinched again. This mighty organ will not be denied. I will be a part of this. What is this?
It's not really much anymore. Yes. Well, please behave yourself, Mr. Rochester. Mr. Wilmot, whatever you want to call it. We'll agree on value. Thank you for that. Yes, final Jeopardy. and you can refrain from vomiting in like, the question is this for final Jeopardy contestants? Right. Shall I continue? You ready? Thank you. Right. What to you is the purpose of life? Now, there's absolutely no way any of you could possibly get this wrong, as it is entirely subjective. Please at least give us something insightful and intellectual about each one of you.
I say, I need a drink. What is this? Look, I think I've seen, there's a match of football in a tavern near here, just across the street. There's some rather delectable creatures in there. I have one more thing.
Before you have somebody. Thank you.
Oh, God, look at her!
Well, okay then. I suppose we should try to continue, though there are only one of us. Oh, bloody hell, I'm pissing off as well. Can't really talk about poetry with only a single subject matter.
Hurry up, Saunders, I'm buying!
Last rounds on Rochester,
You
apparently.
can completely discuss poetry with one subject. Don't you piss off as well? Well, I guess I can finish my little sermon. My God, why dost thou part from me? I wanted to rise above my own voice, and I questioned my suffering in the place of humility and found the decision was
Okay,
already
George,
made.
hurry up and we'll miss happy hour.
Okay.